Hello everyone, I am Tacet and welcome to the Gems of War Tower of Doom stream. So today, of course, it is a week, what day was it? It was week 19, day 6 of the Tower of Doom. We of course are complete with the Tower of Doom at this point, as we normally are before the weekend event hits. We are also done with the weekend event, which of course is the new faction that came out yesterday of the Deep Hive. This ended up coming with a really solid legend as far as ended up getting additions or added to it. Pure faction was relatively easy with how many potion effects we had. Weapon was okay, but overall the legend's the main thing that's going to be going forward. Obviously, you would not want to actually farm this faction. Only has one guaranteed treasure room, so not that much going for it. And the pet is still glitched. I still don't think they fixed that. I'll probably done on Monday. I think I forgot to mention that on the video, but don't forget that the pet still does not count as a pet. It does not count as a Drifting Sands pet. So if we go over to Drifting Sands, the pet should be here, but it's not, like all the other pets whenever they're associated to the kingdom. But they haven't fixed that yet. It still counts as a, what's it called? Instead of Drifting Sands, it counts as a, the hive. So if we go to Deep Hive, it'll show one. However, that's not what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to show up in Drifting Sands, so it would actually count as a troop towards the kingdom. But they still haven't fixed that yet. Let's grab our tribute, of course. What do we have? Anything shiny? Been starting to take it some during Animal Crossing streams, which will help us replenish our gems a little bit, especially since we took a bit of a hit this time compared to normal. Also, we gave out a redeem code on the previous stream. We'll still hand that one, of course, later this stream. But there we go. Claim all that mess. And let's get into things. We'll just go clear through dailies, go do all of the other main objectives. Other thing I want to focus on is getting Monk up and repair our gold. Our gold obviously is pretty low, and we're going to spend about 2 million on Monday or so. So I might actually even just do my own guild's requirement minimum, just because we're really, really low on gold at the moment. I do need to replenish a little bit. Also, it's funny. We get exactly 1, 2, 3, 4 gold per hour. It's kind of funny. It's going up in numbers. But, yeah, we do need to replenish our gold, and I do want to get Monk up. We are so close to level 100, so we'll get that up very, very soon. Also, we'll be able to go farm up a different hero class for when the next Vault event comes around. The next Vault event will be during the Easter event. Or during Easter, I mean, Easter weekend. So since most people will probably be stuck home and not seeing family because proper social distancing, yeah, you'll be stuck. So go play Gems of War Vault event to celebrate your Easter. Also, in other news, Animal Crossing actually, I believe, starts their event in like 3 days for that. So we'll be doing that when we mess around with that. I think it's Wednesday. But anyways, other than that, let's get into things. So let's just start off with dailies. And start getting that grind out so we can go and level up Monk. Though this also technically, passively, ends up leveling up the Monk. And I believe we're halfway on this current level. Oh, no, never mind. We're exactly at that 0. Oh, yeah, because we did that at the end of last stream. And I, when I was playing a little bit earlier, it was off of a different hero class. It wasn't off of Monk. I think I was using Titan earlier. But anyways, go throw that down. Which, of course, is already maxed. But Titan's still one of the better hero classes in the game. Also, hello, everyone. Didn't even say hello. Hellos yet. Hello, Bill Warhammer. Hello, Isabel. Hello, Cookie. Hello, Drock Savage. Hello, John. Hello, Dinosuit Girl. Hello, Merrick Stube. And hello, Robert. Also, Cookie. I was able to get some cookies the other day. Your name made me hungry for it. But I was able to restock. Luckily, that's one thing that is not even remotely sold out. But yeah, I was able to get the more cookies the other week. Chips Ahoy, specifically. Your name always makes me hungry for them. I've been rationing them, though. Let's see. We'll take that over for now. Hello, Lameraflog. Welcome. Hello, Supplement. Hello as well. Hello, Robert, if I didn't always say hello. Hello. And Dinosuit Girl. Hope all of you have been having a wonderful week. And, of course, it's finally the weekend. Ah. My cough isn't as bad as yesterday, luckily. Though it's almost entirely because of seasonal allergies. Actually, all the previous stream, it wasn't that bad. Only picked up like the last hour or two. Not sure why. Just randomly did. Plus, I just realized I'm not running armor right now, am I? It shouldn't really matter, given the damage range we're in. I was wondering why the armor didn't have a green next to it. If we had any amount of metal set to it, it would be set to green. Because it would be giving it additional stats. Similar to how actually, never mind, our HP actually doesn't show as green. But every other stat does, which is kind of weird. I kind of forgot, Magic doesn't. But the other 3 do. If any of your stats were higher or lower, it would show in green or red. And white if it's just base value. so we can easily tell if something's increased beyond its limit. So hello, Tyranny! Welcome. Also, this final battle, I don't think we have enough damage without armor. But we'll see. It's not too big a deal. If nothing else, it's already set up for Phoenicia. When we go switch to Phoenicia for the other battles. Maybe even the final battle, let's go through Phoenicia now. Just so we can quick kill properly. Since our metal setup's kind of already set up for it. Given that we're up against the lower rarity stuff here. Take our blue over there. Grab that. And if any of you have any questions about the faction or anything, feel free to leave it too. Covered a video this morning and I tried to get as much as I could into it. Let's see. Where did the other thing go? I'm looking for... Oh yeah, I kept it down here now. Which I still need to cover this video too. Still haven't. Let's see. We'll then just get the full AoE and kill that up. If any troop, which is frozen, has the color of the match, the extra turn will be nullified. That's not exactly how it always works. What were you mentioning that to? Oh, wait, sorry. Your Morphlog's question. My bad. Question right away. If you take a 4x match on a frozen color, which while having a new legendary, will you get an extra turn? While having a new legendary. You mean the most recent one that was added? So basically how this will work is, here's all the condition of freeze. So this new troop, the Queen Beatrix. So Queen B. So as far as Queen Beatrix's ability, it has two different ways to extra turn. It has an extra turn attached to itself, and it has an extra turn attached to its ability because it gets your gem spawn. So let's say she is frozen. She'd be frozen on three things. She cannot extra turn herself, meaning that 40% chance to hit an extra turn cannot trigger if she's frozen. She also can't trigger extra turn on green because she'll be frozen on green. However, there are two other ways that she could still extra turn. An extra turn on brown, if she's the only thing on your team frozen, will not end your turn because she does not use brown mana. Additionally, even if you take a 4x or 5x green off the board, and it cascades into another extra turn that isn't a green or blue that she's frozen on, you will still get the extra turn. So for example, let's say she's frozen and you get a 5x, and that cascades into a 4x brown because there's so much brown on the board. You would still get an extra turn. Even though you're frozen on the green, it would still give you an extra turn in that situation. But that's basically all the breakdown of when it would happen. So it really just depends what's specifically frozen. But yeah, if she's specifically frozen, green won't extra turn, and her ability won't extra turn. But brown still will, and cascaded colors that are not green or blue still would, assuming she's the only thing frozen. Otherwise, every single thing that's frozen would be the frozen colors. But it's still possible to extra turn. What about the cleanse on 4x, 5x? Oh yeah, I never actually did double check to see if that happens before or after. Oh. I believe that doesn't work for the 40%, but it would probably work for the board one. So if it works for the board one, it would probably still work. Oh, never mind. I actually haven't checked that interaction. My bad. We would have to go check it real quick. The easiest way to do that would build up a team real quick. 1 second. Let me go test that. I actually have not tested that. Because I'm used to Voice of Orpheus, which has Impervious, so you wouldn't need to deal with that. But yeah, this one actually doesn't need to deal with that. 1 second. Yeah, I did not test that yet. I need something with a lot of freeze. Let's just go Frost Mage. Where's Frost Mage? Frost Mage. Where is Frost Mage? Oh, we can just go Frostfire. That works too. It still has the freeze just like Queen Mab. Okay, so we'll go 3 Frostfires. And we'll go with a Frost Mage. Class. Frost Mage. Doesn't matter the weapon. Frost Mage. Boom. Okay, I should just have Snap Freeze attached to it. And put any weapon in there. Doesn't really matter what. Here, Frost Reaver. Okay, so we'll go with that as our defend team. And for our offensive team, we'll just use the pure faction, I guess. Okay, let's go see what this interaction is. But yeah, I didn't check this. Well, we'll check it live. Oh wait, I need to check my own defend team. So I need to change my defend team to you. Where'd it go? Finesse, which actually isn't finesse, but we'll test it. And we'll do it with the cleanse. And see what the interaction is. So are you like Gorgoltha? I mean, not like Gorgoltha. Are you like Glaceon? Not Glaceon. Gosh, I'll get it right eventually. Like Bone Dragon. Okay, let's just see. We'll take whatever. Let him freeze us. Actually, we're already frozen on the last slots. Let's see. We'll take that. I need them. Can you please take better moves? I should have given explosion or something so it has better chance to extra turn. I can always just deliberately try giving extra turn or something. Like right there. I'll let him have that so he gets 3 freezes. Okay, so let's go test this interaction. We are frozen. But will we still trigger it? What am I looking for? I'm looking for slowdown speed. Let's go for 0.5. Okay, let's see what happens. So, do we trigger extra turn in any way? None were triggered and no extra turns. So we didn't actually get to check the interaction there. Okay, he'll take a thing. Just try this again. No, don't cleanse! Ah. Don't cleanse. What are you doing? Okay, I want to pass my turn, so we'll do that. That would have been funny if he got an extra turn when I actually deliberately want him not to. Okay, let me do that again just to refresh our freezes and to get more mana. Okay, let's try this again. See what this interaction is. Okay, cast number 1. We once again do not hit extra turn on either. And of course, the main thing we're trying to see is off the board. I should probably speed up the speed. But I feel like his turn's going to end any second now. Though I say that, he'll probably take another year for his ability. Or for his turn. There we go. Now he ended his turn. Very unlikely he would extra turn off of that. Feels so weird seeing the game be played so slow. Let's see. Oh, so here's one interaction we can see. Which I actually didn't bother checking yet. Does it take cleanse first on this instance? So in that instance, we still maintain our turn. However, I want to see what the interaction is on the ability. So let's go speed up the speed until we can get him an extra turn again. So let's go bait him into a free extra turn. So we can test this. What do we take? We'll take that for now, I guess. Please somehow get extra turn. Trying my best to give this to you. Let's see. We'll take that. There we go. Now he has to go for it. Oh, no. Okay, good. Okay, so let's go test this now. Can you please land an extra turn so we can see what the interaction is? Come on, land. Good, finally. Okay, does it still remain our turn? It looks like it should be a yes. Yes. So every instance of her cleansing out of freeze does allow you to maintain your turn. So in every single possible instance, which is what we were able to test right there, it does indeed preserve your turn. As long as you land an extra turn, you will maintain that extra turn, even if you're frozen on it, because the cleanse will trigger before the cleanse will trigger before the check on freeze. Is basically what will happen. So yeah, there we go. So yes, it does indeed cleanse it first. So that answers your question. So yes, it does counter freeze and gets to act beforehand, even if you were already frozen. Okay, where's my finesse team? Or not finesse, where's my, Phoenicia? So hello, Marcelo. Hope you've been doing well. Also, what is this loading screen we've got right here? You replaced your double truffle team with double queen. Oh no, I still prefer double truffle. I still much prefer the double truffle personally. But it is a nice troop. The new troop that came in is very solid. Curious to see how it develops for next Guild War. Because it should be a really good next Guild War option. Because it's Frost Mage counter. Frost Mage counter is pretty nice to have. There are some really annoying teams that Frost Mage can be used on. And this new legend that was added is a pretty solid Frost Mage counter. In every possible way. Well, except for the fact that it does split damage. because that can be countered by Submerge. But aside from that, it's a pretty good counter to it. It isn't damage-wise, but it is keep your team unfrozen-wise, which is normally the more annoying part. Because Submerge, while it can be annoying on Frost Mage, generally isn't the reason why you're losing to it. The reason why you're losing to it is normally the freeze, more so than anything. Let's see. We'll go for that. Supplement. You've been doing that dino thing for a while now with her. It is cute. Anyways, what do I take here? We did that. We did that. So now we need to go level. Because we have no other event to go do. Because obviously we're not going to... we don't really need to do excess in... well, for one, we finished out Tower of Doom. You only have to finish out to stage 26. And we've already done that. And we're still top 50. So if we needed to, maybe tomorrow I'll throw a few more battles just so we maintain top 50. But as it stands, we are tied for... Oh, sorry. Actually, we're slightly above top 50 then by 2 points. So might need to grind a little bit for that 15 gems tomorrow. But other than that, probably won't do any more battles. And aside from that... yeah, that was the only other event. And, of course, we have Delves. But we already finished that out. I guess we could do it for extra sigils if we truly wanted to. But we have 3 battles there, but they're kind of just sitting there doing nothing. And we could get some extra loot, but it's not really worth it due to how long it will take to actually cycle through. But anyways, let's go do some leveling then. So we still need to go get Monk up. Monk, of course, is a hero class that came in, what, 2.5 weeks ago or so? And still been on the trying to get this thing up. We are currently at level 95 exactly. Want to get at minimum 1 more level for it. I wanted to get it maxed before next Guild War, and we'll easily be able to. We might even get it maxed by, well, it depends how much we grind it, but probably by this Wednesday, I would say. Probably by Wednesday, we should hopefully have it maxed. At least that is the goal. Because that's 1 per day at this point. 1 today, 1 tomorrow, 1 the other day, other day, other day. And if we maintain that, that will be maxed by Wednesday. I do like pacing them just to not overly grind them, as it can be a little tedious doing the grinding that we need for these. There's a couple different ways to do it. I haven't been doing 1 trophy PvP as much, which is actually, I believe, the quicker method overall. But you don't get any tokens during it. Let's see. We'll take that. Grab that. If all the codes are linked to a monk level, we might actually do that. We might actually link all of them to monk level at this point. Except on Monday. We'll probably have a different goal for Monday. Well, what is Monday's event? Monday's event is raids, right? Should be raids. Goes raids then back into Guild War. Yeah, next week should be raids still. Which means annoying Zugoff. Because that streamer we probably won't be leveling monk as much. However, we'll go for what's it called? We'll go for completing all of our sigils for raids. Also, next Friday is the first Friday of the month, so we will be getting a new mythic. And it's actually not that bad either. There's a possibility it might be tweaked before it's released, but as it currently stands, it could have potential. I don't feel like it's going to be overly meta, but they might tweak something that will make it so. It's kind of like a higher damage Aquaticus, but without the board control, kind of. But you get mana through enchant. It's this thing. We could bring it up. Let's see if I'm remembering it correctly. That is. Let me see. Terran's World. What am I looking for here? I'm looking for troops, and it should be the very next one, other than the event. Right there. So this is coming out next Friday. Oh, we also have Bounty Hunter next Friday. But next Friday we also have this troop right here. Oh, oops, it doesn't come in a new tab. 1 second. You guys can't see that. I can. You guys can't. Let's see. There we go. Okay, so this troop. This is the new mythic coming out on next Friday. So in 6 days from now. Oh, wait, never mind. You guys actually could see that. But in 6 days from now, well, at least this looks bigger. But in 6 days from now, this will be released. It is called, what is it? It is, what is that word? Mistralis? Mistralis. It is a mythic from Stormheim, Elemental Fae. So it does have that elemental synergy there. Unfortunately, it does not count as a giant. But it deals magic. This could also synergize with the fact that you have the Frostfire troops from there too, though. So you can end up doing with Frostfire things. But anyways, as far as what it does, it's 25 mana cost, blue, yellow, brown. Deals magic plus 4 splash damage to 1 to 4 random enemies, so pretty inconsistent with how much damage it will do. It then jumbles the board and gains an extra turn. This is pretty relevant because this is the... Oh, never mind, it did have board control. I forgot about that. I was right about the enchant. I forgot I had the board control jumble thing. But yeah, this is the second mythic in the game that has extra turn on cast. And we know what happened to the first one. It became meta for a very long time. It still is, though I don't feel like I use it as much these days. But High King Iron Gut was the only other mythic that has guarantee extra turn. And now this is another one. And this is a really cast-oriented one, whereas the other one's a little bit more skull-based, technically. But, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this pans out. Its damage is going to be rather inconsistent, though. However, on average, it's going to be hitting at least 2 enemies. So that's pretty much just like a normal Infernus kind of like troop. So it has that. It can hit up to 4, which is even more than Aquaticus if it ends up landing it. And then the jumble board into gain extra turn can have a lot of potential. Jumble the board allows you to basically try for more extra turns. And the extra turn, well, you know, you get to do your turn again, which is always helpful. Other than that, it has 25% spell reduction, which is pretty useful. And one of the other interesting things about it is it gets to enchant all allies on 4x, 5x matches. Enchant giving you 2 mana per turn until you cast or until it's dispelled. So it's pretty good against mana drain. It's also just good in general for mana accumulating, as you guys probably know from most of the events. Because if you spend even 30 gems, you automatically get an enchant to all allies. Well, now imagine a mythic that does that every single time you extra turn, and that is what she is. So if you ever wanted that 30 gem potion effect that you can get for pretty much all these events, you can simply use her in any PvP battle or Guild Wars and all that, and she'll give it to you after one single extra turn. Not exactly the same as starting with it, but, you know, it's possible that you have an extra turn at starting board and essentially get the same effect. Obviously, she'll be a little bit weaker in those game modes for that reason, given that you already have the enchant if you're buying any amount of packs. However, this will obviously be mostly used for Guild Wars and PvP. However, it might occasionally be used in Delve when you're not running potions. But yeah, has some potential. Though actually, it doesn't upskill in Delves, though, so you probably wouldn't use it for the really high level. But yeah, it has potential. And this is coming out next Friday, assuming they don't change anything. Do keep in mind that's subject to change. Any info there? It could be buffed or nerfed before then. Yeah, it's definitely not a bad mythic. It's slightly above average. It has potential to be really broken, but we have to test it before we're really going to figure out if it's really broken or not. How I currently gauge it is slightly above average, is where I would place her. The 4x enchant isn't necessarily going to be used that often, I don't feel like, with her. She's mostly going to be used for the extra turn jumble into really high damage. That aspect is actually really potent due to the amount of board control that allows you to have, assuming she's not frozen. Another troop that is really dependent on not being frozen. Oh, there's our 20 gems for today. Not much, but it adds up if we take it every day. Not to mention, we've been getting some 100 gem days lately. Got like 2 or 3 in a row earlier this week. I think it was 2 in a row. Still, nice amount of extra 80 gems per day. And in those instances, even though it takes a little bit longer, it's definitely worth the time for how many more gems you get. You basically get an additional 5 times each day that you get that. Rather than the normal 20, you get 100. So 80 more than normal. And definitely always make sure you clear up that top one once you finally have the ones that reset every single day. Or I mean, once you have the ones that keep repeating. Like, you know, once you finally have the kill 100 to get 20 gems, or the kill 150s to get 100 gems. Or sorry, kill 100 to get 20 gems, and kill 150 to get 100. But if you're up to that point where you have those tasks, which is a good majority of players, you've gone past like that tutorial like section for them, they don't reset unless you complete them. So even if you feel like, oh, 20 gems isn't that much, but 100 is, you still want to do it every single day, just because clearing it out will give you a chance for that 100. If you just leave it there, even if you leave it at 0 and don't do any battles, it will not reset. It'll stay that task until it is completed. So you do want to make sure to clear it each day, not just for the small amount of gems, but also because it rolls the chance to give you the 100 task, the one where you have to kill 150 for 100 gems. So do be mindful of that. But how have you guys been doing with the virus and everything? Haven't really been asking. Anyone had to claim unemployment yet? Or are you still working from home? Or are you still working at whatever job you have? And if you are still working, what's your job? Let's see. We'll grab our explosions. Obviously, it hasn't affected me much. Every means of work I've pretty much ever done, other than flea marketing, has or everything I've done, self-employed, has been capable of being done from home, except for half of flea marketing. Everything else has pretty much been capable from home. Then I guess technically when I was doing eBay, I had to go to the post office, but you normally wouldn't have to interact with much there. And they normally have a drop-off bin, so you technically wouldn't need to interact with anyone. You just put in a drop-off bin and be on your way. What team do I use for gold farming? I generally use the Scorpius on Explore 12. We probably will do some amount of gold farming. However, even what we're doing right now is technically some gold farming, though it's only about 100,000 per hour. Using Scorpius team on Explore 12 is about 300,000 to 350,000 per hour, assuming you're doing on Skea. And other than that, Skeleton Key with Double Cedric team with Egg Thief, I believe is about 450,000 per hour. It's 400 to 450,000. I believe it's about 100,000 more than whatever Scorpius does. How your job is DoorDash, so you've been doing okay, nice. Actually, if anything, that almost seems like it's been would probably be picking up. How's poor Eliphi and Elifina did? You get them sick too? I did not get them sick. They're behind me. They're resting right now. One's sleeping in bed and the other one's watching the green screen to make sure that it keeps greening. You work at a rent-a-center, which is considered an essential job. Well, I guess because people kind of need places then. Kind of hard to go through these times without shelter, that's for sure. Yeah, the elephants are not sick, no worries. She's spending her weekend doing a 2,000-piece puzzle, nice. Oh yeah, I should have asked my friends, because when I went there for New Year's, they were working on a puzzle. How much you want to make a bet they still haven't finished that puzzle? They were doing it for the underneath portion of their gaming table, and I'm willing to make a bet they didn't finish that puzzle yet, even though half of them are probably stuck because of coronavirus. I know my main friend there can probably work from home because he normally works from home anyways. He normally has some meetings that he has to do, but they can be done by video chat most of the time, which is probably how they do it all the time now. But yeah, I need to go ask him later. That reminds me. I'm willing to make a bet, even though like half of them are probably stuck at home. They still haven't finished that puzzle. Let's see. What do I even want here? Let's take yellow for now, I guess. Take some greens, get Rowan going, go from there. It was funny because they were using the underside of the table for the puzzle, it basically made half the table unusable, because it's one of those like foldable gaming tables that basically acts as a dining table that then has like an underneath section that you can do for other like tabletop games, but they were using it for a puzzle. So I never even got to see the inside of the thing because it was filled with puzzle, that uncompleted puzzle. Let's see. Luckily, you're still a student, so you're just staying home. Actually, a lot of people got angry at my college because they forced people to go to classes, even when like there was like warnings like not to go on the roads because there was so much snow and frost, and they still held classes during that time. Because what basically happened is the previous year they canceled way too many classes, and people were complaining that they kept canceling. Then the following year they didn't cancel like at all, and then everyone was complaining that they didn't cancel ever. So they need to find a middle ground. I'm not sure if they ever did, but yeah, that was pretty funny. But it went from them not doing it enough to I mean it went from them doing it too much to them not doing it at all, and both were complained about. Let's see. I'll go for that for now. Oh no, you're under quarantine now. Well, I hope things go well. That's the best thing to do in that situation. Oh, is that what a Reddit Center is? I was thinking that was something completely different. Like, I didn't know what a Reddit Center actually was. That makes a bit more sense then. Yeah, I don't know. Renting anything in most situations doesn't seem worth it, except for housing. If you don't have if you don't have like a solid like specific job that you're going to be doing in a certain location, just to give you more flexibility. But I don't know. Most things they could possibly rent just doesn't seem worth it, including things like cars and such. Just because the amount of money you would overall pay over the course of it probably wouldn't be worth it. Just because of how much interest ends up accumulating. House is about one of the only few things that's probably worth it in that regard, just so you don't have to pay rent, and so it's actually going to something. Actually, oddly enough, in the area that I'm currently in, it is actually cheaper to finance a 30-year house than it is to rent. By obviously, some people can't commit to like fully renting out a place because they might not be stably in that location. But if they are for a long duration of time, it's definitely worth it. It is several hundred cheaper per month overall. Plus, you're paying out equity. Yeah, I heard, wasn't America, I haven't been keeping up with it too much. Hasn't America almost hit #1 in deaths? However, as you mentioned, China hasn't been reporting all of theirs. Though, in all fairness, United States also hasn't been reporting all of theirs either. I still don't know a single person who's been tested for the virus. I don't know, have any of you been tested for the virus yet? Were you positive, negative? Haven't gotten tested? Yeah, we're #1 on infections. What are the best weapons to max level? Mang, you want to get to level 5 and only level 5. Mountain Crusher, you want to max. I don't know. That's an interesting question. I've covered a video on it in the past. Though I can't recall on the top of my head which ones actually had the better perks. I know the main few offhand is Mang level 5. Make sure not to get it beyond 5, if you can. Mountain Crusher 9. And aside from that, nothing really pops up at me as needs to be fully maxed. Obviously, there are quite a few that would benefit from it. But you'd kind of do it based on your own discretion, based on the weapons you're actually using. Let's see. We'll go for that for now. Well, I know people in states that have been locked down and none of them been tested. And that there's a high amount of it in the area, yet they still haven't actually gotten tested in that area. Like New York and Chicago. Let's see. We'll go for that for now. Yeah, we'll get that for now. Grab our skull over there. Prison guards, so no working from home for you. Let's see. Take that for now. I would assume they would have restricted visits just to not spread it more. Seems like an easy place for it to actually spread. Let's see. Take that for now. Grab our Rowan there. Robert, I thought that was a dungeon joke for a second. As if he keeps a dungeon at home that he can be a prison guard for. That's how I read that initially. Yeah, I got a dungeon in my basement. I'm a prison guard for. Prisoning from home. Let's see. We'll go for that for now. What do we take there? Throw that down for now. Luckily, get our instant one-shots. Helps get that EXP a bit quicker. Because I definitely want to gain at least one level. Might even go a little bit beyond one level. That or we'll go do some gold farming. We're almost up to 1.5 million again. Though we're going to lose at minimum a million on Monday. This might be the first Monday in a while where I only donate 1 million. Because almost every week I've been donating quite a bit. But I think this will be a minimum 1 million week. Maybe we'll do 1.5 million. I don't know. We've been doing like 2 million weeks, 3 million weeks. We can slack off 1 week. Just to catch up on gold. Because we're going to need another 4 million or so for next faction. And if we don't step up the amount of Explore 12 we do, we are not going to have that much gold. Though, there again, Vault Event might end up covering that gap. I almost forgot about that. Vault Event doesn't give like an excessively high amount of gold, but you do end up getting gold throughout the event. More so than you would be at the normal rate. Especially when you're quick killing with a team like this. And thus, Tacet tanked his guild's economy. Actually, that can happen. Because I do notice that quite a few people, occasionally, will donate based on how much I donate. So if I donate like 4 or 5 million, some people will feel encouraged to donate more. But yeah, if I donate like 1 million, I'll notice like a actual decrease in the amount of gold donated to the guild. So yes, it technically could crash the guild's economy. So maybe I should do a bit more. We're just really low on gold right now. Haha, spend my Vault keys. No. I'm still holding out on Vault keys in case they get buffed or nerfed or burfed. In case they get buff nerfed. Let's see. They're most likely going to get buff nerfed, by the way. They're going to be buffed while simultaneously getting nerfed. It's going to be a buff that will aim towards nerfing them, most likely. However, I still want to see what they are before that happens. And make the definitive decision on if we'll spend them before or after. But while we don't know what the rework to them will be, there is a good chance they will be nerfed with a buff, as they normally do. Will it be enough? Yes, it'll be enough. Let's see. Open the metric ton of gold chests you probably have. We did open some the other week. Actually, the easiest way to get gold would be the exact method we did the other stream. What we end up doing, which is a mechanic I almost forgot about because it does give gold, is you can mass buy the glory troop for the week. So, of course, we have a glory troop here. If it costs 300, which it currently does, you can convert them for a pretty decent rate. Every 300 glory goes to 5,000 gold. And very quickly, you can spam buy 60,000 glory into 1 million gold. You can get a lot of gold that way very quickly, obviously. Of course, you need an absurd amount of glory to do that. But luckily, we do have one absurd amount of glory. So, yeah, we're over 1 million. So, we did this actually yesterday, so we'd cover another 1 million for the thing. And I can do this pretty much whenever. And you are allowed to do it multiple times per week. There is no limit to how many times you could buy this. We can just keep spamming clicking this for 200 over and over again if we really want to. Obviously, we're not going to. But if we needed gold in a pinch, that's probably the best way of doing it, is convert your 60,000 glory stacks into a bunch of troops. It is best to do that when there's an ultra rare though. Or so it's or you know, anytime there's not an epic basically. Because if you do it while it's an epic there, you'll get less gold. Because it's costing 400 per thing rather than 300. But whenever it costs only 300, you can basically just convert your glory to gold at a okay rate. It's not the best conversion rate, but it's if you needed a small amount of gold in a really quick amount of time, and you had excess glory, that'd be one of the better ways to do it. I do advise rather spending your gold on, your glory on glory keys. However, if you were desperate for a lot of gold really quickly, that would be the way to go. Like, we needed 1 million to go to put it towards the faction last Friday, or yesterday, and we were able to get that gold within seconds by doing that. So that was one of the instances that we did it in. It only cost 60,000 for a million glory. A million gold. And it technically is even more gold than that, because if you opened all the gold keys you got and all the glory keys you got, you'd actually get more than 1 million gold. Probably closer to 1,100,000 gold or so. Somewhere around there. Oh, misclicks. Oops, misclicks again. All of the misclicks. Tokens and writs being added to Vault would actually be a buff, depending on the amount that they add. Actually, it might not be. I don't know. They have no gem value. And a lot of the better drops in there do have gem value. But I don't know. It wouldn't be a bad thing necessarily. Not necessarily. Also, gosh, my beard's getting long. It's my coronavirus beard. Oh, if anything, I should probably shave it off. Though I'm normally not around in public. And I always wash it after, just in case. I always take a shower after I head out all these days, just in case. And also because of how much pollen is out these days. Which honestly is probably more threatening to me than the coronavirus. Is all the pollen. Because of how allergic I am to pollen. Which reminds me, I never did stream Ring Fit Adventure. I haven't been playing it as much since Animal Crossing came out, but prior to Animal Crossing I started picking it back up again. I need to be doing it more often. Need to get that exercise in. Especially now that I'm cooped up even more than normal. They actually gave it a update the other day, actually. Like 2 days ago or something. Yeah, on Wednesday, so 3 days ago. It was a pretty small update, but they added some rhythm games to it. As well as a jogging mode that doesn't have any combat. But that's not as fun. Let's see. We'll go for that. Yeah, it's a pretty interesting RPG if none of you have ever seen it before. We'll definitely need to stream it, because it'd be a pretty funny stream. Watching how badly I fail at exercise. No, it's not too bad. It's definitely pretty intense. Like, it won't be that long of a stream. Well, I'll be lucky if it's an hour stream. Just because it's something that you would normally just do in short bursts. $150 on the hive. Nice, making progress. Grab our extra turn there and dead. That poor Elephie is devastated waiting for me to stream that game. Yeah, you would see the elephants just laying there if I ever did do it, because I'd have to take off the green screen. Because the green screen would be in the way of all the motion that you have to do for the game. We'll do it eventually. It'll be a pretty funny stream. I might need to make the face cam bigger, though. Because it'll be a body cam at that point. I'm not sure how well the audio will pick up, though. There might be an audio picking up issue. Just because I'm going to be way further from the mic than normal. And by way further, I mean like multiple feet. I'd have to change up my setup quite a bit. Yeah, you'd finally see what's behind me. Though you guys probably seen at some point. Any long viewers of the thing. Because we didn't always have a green screen. But some of you probably remember what's back there. Also, I've shown it a couple times. It's just a bed and a cabinet, pretty much. Which, that cabinet didn't even used to be there. I got it from my neighbor. Helped move some stuff for her, and yeah, she was just going to throw it away anyway, so She just gave it to me. Actually, I can't even remember the last time I've actually bought in furniture. However, that reminds me, I do need a small side table here, which I've been meaning to get for like 6 months now. Or sorry, not 6 months, like 4 months now, 5 months. Yeah, 5 months. And I still haven't. Ever since we got this new computer, I've been meaning to get it. Still haven't. Need to eventually. Once coronavirus passes, we'll worry about it. Let's see. Take that for now. Yeah, Ring Fit Adventure is probably the most interesting exercising game I've seen. Like, it's a legit RPG within it. Like, it's not a really in-depth one. Like, it's like the absolute bare bones of it. Honestly, I feel like they're almost like making fun. Or not like fun in like a bad way, but like fun at the RPG genre in general, even through it. Just because of how generic-y some things are. But of course, it's supposed to be like an exercising thing, so the things are deliberately generic-y. Like, they're going out of their way to almost overly generic-size some things. Just almost as like a joke, which is pretty funny in some instances that it does it. But yeah, it's definitely not that bad. Has like a full-blown combat system with exercise. It even has armor, technically, and potions through smoothies and exercise clothing, which is also pretty funny. Let's see. I'll take that. Hopefully get something good off the gnome. Yep, only some gold. But hey, more gold. We need to do some more gold farming, so hey, getting some gold in there. Also, this team by default, not counting any gnomes, is about 100,000 gold per hour, which obviously is pretty low, but it is still gaining gold, even though it's not the primary reason why we're using this team. But yeah, I should go switch to some Scorpius. Scorpius in 20 minutes gains like all the gold that this would in an entire hour. However, gold's not the only thing we're going for. Gotta get that monk leveled. Oh no, I think we'll have enough gold for Monday. We'll do like 1.5 million. It's not like we need gold for anything else anytime soon. Like, the only thing we're going to need it for soon is the next faction, which is an entire month away. So we still got time. Actually, it might even be a little further than a month, because now we have other things rotating on weekend events. Like, for example, the invasions now and other stuff. I'll be coming into future patches. So it might actually be longer than a week before we see next faction again. And they're also likely going to be slowing down the pace in which factions come into the game, due to all the other game modes, and also because they're eventually going to run out of factions to add. So they might start adding them a bit slower to compensate for that fact. Supplement, what is that picture that you sent of the dinosaur? Kind of curious which dinosaur you sent. Is that one with the long neck? Why does it say it's age restricted? What on earth did you post? Better be PG. Well, you have to sign in for age restricted. What is it? What even is it? What on earth are you sending to people? Luckily, I didn't open it on stream, whatever it is. It's so dirty, don't look. I'm kind of curious now. I've seen worse. It's the worst image you've seen today. Well, that's a low bar. Mods these days. Oh, hey, JGG, welcome. I'll grab that. Yeah, I don't have a count for Imgur, so I would need to go and make one to see what that is. But now I'm curious what that image is. But I hope you've been doing well, ZGG. Hope you've been staying safe. Right now we're just trying to level up some monk, which also reminds me, did I hand out a code? I didn't hand out a code yet, did I? Let me go do that. I handed out one earlier, which makes me feel like I handed out a code already. But I don't believe I handed out a second one. Or if I did, I have really bad memory. Excessively bad. Regardless, let's do another code. Pretty sure I have in this stream. Like almost 100% certain. Yeah, because I still have the one highlighted from previous stream. Which means I definitely did not hand out a code to stream. Let's see. We put that there, put that there, put that there, put that there, and put that there. They have been handing out Gems of War codes during Animal Crossing streams. Normally only one per, if we even hand out one at all. But we have been on occasion. I think we've handed out like 3 or 4 during Animal Crossings. Just because half the people who are there anyways obviously have overlap into Gems of War. But there you guys go. There's the code. Yeah, who currently has the pet record, by the way, right now? Also, what happened to Key Lime? Has he still been streaming? He hasn't posted on YouTube for like 3 weeks. Anything new in Gems of War? How long have you been gone? As of very recently, tokens have probably been the biggest thing, and that came in last October, mid-October of last year. And that ended up adding a way to do elite levels onto troops, which is pretty much their way of doing post-level 20 leveling, which gives a little bit of extra stats to them, and a little visual thing, like that thing in the corner right over there. But tokens were probably the biggest thing that has happened in that time, for the most part. That and the new world event. We now have a world event that now replaces out invasions. That is soon going to replace out almost every event in the game except for Guild Wars, which is going to basically be a really adaptive event that will have these tokens in it as well. It wasn't the way that tokens were first introduced to the game, but it's a way to get tokens of seasons and other tokens that specifically help you with the event. But tokens are used just to upgrade your troops as well as to give them additional stats. Like this one gives additional armor, which we use for Rowan actually right now because Rowan gains a lot of benefit from extra armor. We can get 24 total armor, 8 each, for a total of 48 additional damage. And there's quite a few other ones, like one for every single stat. There's one for 20% mana start. There's one for a bunch of different stats. There's one for cleanse. Medals 2.0, pretty much. Except we only got one new medal. It's Medal of Seasons. However, theoretically we got 4 because there's 3 other ones, but they only work during the events. They do not work outside the event. And then they get converted to seasons after the event. He posted on Instagram about preparing a stream room. I don't know, with a green screen, I feel like you wouldn't really need it unless you were going to do a bunch of sound padding. But I haven't really had much sound issue for the most part with my room. Mostly because it has really thick walls. Are the weekly events on the fixed rotation? Yes. Or are they pulled in a non-specific order? No, all the weekly events are on a rotation. As far as specifically the guild-related ones. The ones that happen on weekends, I believe, are somewhat on a rotation. However, they keep getting changed due to them making tweaks to the game. But yeah, every single one of the World Lore events are going to be completely different. Like, that's not going to be the same. Every single month. That one. And they're eventually going to be happening more than once every month. That specific event. Oh, Kingdom rotation? Kingdom rotation is relatively random. It has to do with what troops they feel like making. Pretty much. Obviously, to do it somewhat within the balance of the game. Making sure certain star levels are where they should be and other things. But no, it's actually rather random what kingdoms become the event. It is possible that a kingdom gets 2 events prior to another kingdom getting a single event. This will mostly happen if the event has less troops. For example, Sinner Mirage. But, yeah, it's not exactly on a rotation. Because 2 can get 1 before 1 gets 1. Because sometimes they want to release certain troops around certain times of the year, or for certain reasons, or with certain patches and other things like that. And which one they specifically do it for kingdom-wise really just depends on what the development team is making as far as troops. And just sometimes it just happens to repeat some kingdoms more than others at certain parts of times. So it's not a consistent cycle. Is there only one kingdom without a class left? Yes. Cinder Mirage is currently the only kingdom in the entire game without a class. The next hero class that's coming in, I believe it's mid-March? Mid-April, I mean. But the hero class coming out in April is the last hero class being added to the game, most likely. It is the only kingdom without a hero class. Unless they're going to start doing something else, that is the last hero class in the game. There's a good chance they'll be reworking all the hero classes, though. And maybe adding some more grind to each of them. However, we are unlikely to be getting more hero classes from there. However, some typings of some hero classes might change. Hopefully an elemental. But yeah, we really need an elemental hero class. But yeah, the thing is going to be called a daemon. Or it's going to be daemon, most likely. It unfortunately will not be elemental. It'll be like the 3rd or 4th daemon. Unfortunately. Because what's all the daemons? Blade of Lands is daemon. Kakarot is daemon. Did they change that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's still daemon. I don't think they made it mystic or something else. But those 2 are daemons, and the 3rd one that's going to be daemon is Cinder Mirage. So they made 3 of them of the exact same type. Yet they still have some types that have 0. Like Elemental, which would be very, very strong. Because Elemental would guarantee get Storm Tree. And something with Storm Tree that counts as an Elemental itself as under hero class, that alone with no other info is already a strong troop or a strong hero class. And if it had a good final trait and stuff like that and other good trees, it would be really, really solid of a troop. Like, it would be the best in the game. If something has Storm Tree, Stone Tree, and one other tree, it almost doesn't even matter what its other final trait is. That's pretty much going to be the best hero class in the game. It would be better than Titan. Because it would count as Elemental itself. Though, then again, it might not have half mana start, which would hold it back compared to Titan. Plus, it would have less skull damage, most likely. Kind of like what Monk ended up having. Where it had a lot of benefits that were better than Titan, but its lack of half mana start really hindered it. But it's still a really great hero class. But you don't use it as much as you would something like Titan just because of its Titan's quicker speed in both skulls and casting. Monk is better at not dying though, especially against heavy status effects, which is probably where it's mostly used, is heavy status effect counters. And also to accumulate mana when you're completely blocked if you're using it in that regard. Though generally it's not really completely blocked, but you can still use it for extra mana to accumulate better weapons, if nothing else. But anyways, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, we probably will start wrapping up very soon. Also, hello, Captain. Hope you've been doing well. Glad to see you again. But yeah, don't forget, if you haven't already, make sure to do your delve battles and everything. You don't necessarily need to go to top 500 or, do a level 500 pure faction. But you still get other rewards for going to about 200 or so off of the, normal rewards that it gives. So definitely worth going and considering getting that for all the orbs and everything, as it does give a pretty decent amount of orbs. Not as much as value as you would if you only spent 30 gems during the Tuesday event, but still a pretty substantial amount of value nonetheless. And is definitely worth considering for the orbs. And if nothing else, it helps progress your delve forward. You've had this in mind for a while. You know those troops with Explode Gem at the start of a battle trait? What happens if an enemy explodes a gem and gets a 4 match? This has been something that has been tweaked in the past. I forget its previous interaction, but currently it's actually, how does it currently interact? I know in the past it used to be really, really broken, and that the explosions would count towards the player. So if someone had a single explosion on the enemy team and it landed an extra turn, all that mana accumulation and the thing would just count for the player who's player 1. So that was very broken. Actually, I'm not sure what its current interaction is. I know in the past it would give the person who exploded got to keep the mana, but the board control from it actually went to whoever was player 1, who of course is the player itself, which was pretty broken in that regard. I believe they tweaked it somewhat, but I'm not 100% sure exactly how the interaction is right now. We kind of just have to pay attention the next time it happens. But I'm pretty sure it's was fixed to some capacity. I know they made a tweak to it a couple months back. I just forget what that tweak was, as far as how it changed the interaction. Very rarely is that relevant, though. But, yeah, it is kind of weird that the one explosion almost helps the enemy more than it helps yourself at the start of battle. That is when the enemy has it. No, he wasn't referring to explode potion. He was referring to when the enemy specifically has it, which is a bit different. So basically, it's turn 1. You have no explosions, but the enemy has explosion. Odd they are not doing Pan's Veil event in 2 weeks for bunny events. Yeah, that is where all the Lapinas are. Actually, I'm curious if we're going to get anything for this Easter event. Probably not, but you never know. Well, we'll probably get an Easter pet at least, if nothing else, but that isn't as interesting as a troop. For the first few events, they used to add holiday troops like almost every single year. But then they kind of stopped after a little bit. We've been getting holiday pets now. That's not the same. Holiday troops would be way more better than holiday pets. Like Ragnagord, for example, was the very first ever holiday pet. I mean, a holiday troop. It was also added with a holiday weapon. Silent Knight was the holiday weapon, which I believe is now a $5 weapon. And though they do occasionally have some packs during Christmas where you can get it for free occasionally. But other than that, Ragnagord, the one that holds that candy cane that used to be basically the Mountain Crusher of the past. It's not anymore. Obviously, Mountain Crusher is still better in the current state of the game. But yeah, he was the first ever holiday troop added to the game. We've gotten several other weapons and troops over the years. Yeah, I was surprised by Valentine's. They didn't even do the extra adventure board thing. They added that adventure board feature, and I believe the only thing they've used that new adventure board feature for was for Lunar New Year. Have they used it for anything other than Lunar New Year's yet? I'm pretty sure they haven't. Though they might use it for Easter, bring it out to give us 100 gems or something else. They almost forgot that was even a mechanic. That was added in, I believe, the first mini patch this year. Yeah, we had a mini patch at the beginning of the year, and one of the few things that mini patch did was it added those new events that could happen, and they did it for Lunar New Year, and then they never did it again. They didn't do it for Valentine's Day. They didn't do it for Leprechaun Day. For St. Patrick's Day. And yeah, hopefully they do it for Easter, but that'd be really surprising if they don't even do it for Easter. But yeah, they didn't do it for St. Patrick's Day either. Yeah, the only thing we had for St. Patrick's was a Battle Crasher for extra gold. That, and they also changed the skulls to be St. Patrick's skulls. Which is funny, because you'd think they would at least give our 100 gem thing or another one of those for that event. Because it's a special event. They even literally changed the skulls for it. Yet, they didn't give us anything for it other than the gnome. Which was a little bit extra gold, which was nice, but it was almost more annoying sometimes because it's an Empower troop that has a bunch of mana accumulation. Which could actually make some troops stronger, or some teams stronger, not weaker. Especially in things like Explore. Made Explore a little bit more annoying during that time. Because you couldn't quick kill as consistently if they could just get a thing that would delay you by a few seconds. It's fine when you're doing the explosion, but when the enemy's about to follow you up with that explosion, it wastes quite a bit of time off that Empower. The gem generating machine was stuck in the office during the outbreak. That was before the outbreak, though. Things like Valentine's Day, at least. But anyways, guys, does anyone else have any other questions? Otherwise, I'll probably be calling it a night. We'll be back tomorrow night, same time as always, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hour prior to now tomorrow. And we'll be going over all the spoilers for next week. And, of course, that new mythic, which you kind of just showed. So there's a little bit of spoiler for you. Of course, it is subject to change, so be wary. The devs will probably be showing it off on Monday night, I'm pretty sure. Salty probably will be. And we can kind of see it in action. Also, whatever it is by that stream is likely the final version of it. So if whatever it is in that stream is likely what's going to be on Friday. Though that's not always the case, but generally it is. Other than that, we'll be doing Animal Crossing tomorrow. We'll be starting probably around 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Might start a little bit earlier, but I'm pretty sure we'll start exactly at 10. We'll see. But yeah, I'll probably start at 10 and go from there as far as Animal Crossing tomorrow. And of course, we'll be doing that through most of the day. And then we'll do our normal stream at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, hour prior to now tomorrow for Gems of War. And then we'll cover the event video on Monday, get a few other things done, and I might try fitting a guide video if I can get enough time in there too. Also, I might finally go get a haircut this Monday too. Kind of need one. Shave everything off. I'm sure it'd be a pretty good time to do so. But anyways, guys, I'll catch you guys later. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Stay safe out there. Make sure to wash your hands and practice safe social distancing. And I will catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone.